Hey everyone, welcome to another Belly Strong video, and we've reached week 37 of pregnancy, which is exciting because technically from here on out any babies born will be full term and hopefully free of any issues. We're going to get started with our warm-up in standing and wide legs. We're going to just take the hips from side to side through a squat into a lunge. And week 37 means you're probably feeling a bit heavy. It might be a bit more difficult to get around. So just make sure you're taking everything at your own pace. Don't feel like you need to rush through anything, and modify where necessary if you find anything a bit too challenging. So just really stretch out those inner thighs for 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. You're then going to stand up, bring the feet a little bit closer together, hands on the shoulders, and twist from side to side. Try to keep the hips facing forwards. It's not a very fast twist, just nice and slow to mobilize that spine. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can keep the legs where they are. Clasp the hands above your head, and you're pulling one arm over into a little bit of a side bend. So you should feel a bit of a stretch, and then other way. So it's not a huge side bend, it's more of a pull and a lean over. And you're just switching from side to side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Into some butt kicks. So you're just kicking those feet up towards that buttocks as you open those arms out. You should be feeling a little bit of a stretch in the quads as you kick back. Just getting everything nice and warm. 4, 3, 2, 1, and we go back to the beginning with our wide-legged lunge. Side passing through a bit of a squat to the other side. Keep the chest up, and you're sitting the hips back. Keeping the weight mostly on the heels. And 4, 3, 2, 1 into trunk twists. Bring the feet a little bit close together, hands on shoulders, and twisting from side to side. Really try to isolate that twist to the mid-spine rather than having the whole body turn. 4, 3, 2, 1. Clasp hands and pull and bend over side to side. Have a little tension in those abdominals as you bend over. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And our last one, kicks or butt kicks. Opening out those arms so you also feel a bit of a chest stretch. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're going to get into some squats. because going into labor, strength is going to help. So take those feet nice and wide. You're going to sit down into a squat, and the movement is a quick drive up as you squeeze the glutes and then back down. So it's up and down, up, down. If the quick movement is a bit too much for you at this stage, keep it all nice and slow. But that quick drive is really going to work the glutes. It's a little bit of power work, but we're not jumping, so there's no impact, but we're still working on the power of those glutes and of those quads. Abdominals engaged, squeezing the glutes, almost thrusting the hips forwards as you come up. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. We're then going to do some side leg lifts. You can use a chair or have your hand on a wall for extra support if you need to. But your weight's going to be on one leg, push up and out of that standing leg. The other leg hovers and comes to lift to the side and back down. Side and back down. So if you're experiencing any pelvic pain and these single leg activities are not really great for you, having support on a chair or having your hands on a table or a chair can really help give you extra support. But if you can, we're still trying to work that balance even this late in the 3rd trimester. Out as you push out, you should feel that opposite hip really working to keep you upright. 2 more. 1, and onto the other side. So shift your weight onto one hip, push out of that standing hip, flatten the ribs, and then we add that side leg lift. Eyes focused on one spot to help with balance. Squeezing the hips or the hip muscles of that standing leg. We're also working our oblique abdominals here. A bit of standing core work, which is good for pregnancy because it's generally quite safe. There's not a large risk of overloading your abdominals in this standing position. 3 more. 2, and 1. Now last leg exercise is going to get the heart rate up a little bit too. You're going to open those feet nice and wide, come down into a plie because we love our plies. Push the knees open, brace those abdominals. Your hands come in front of you and it's a palm thrust forwards while you keep that plie. So there's not a lot of trunk twisting. There's a little bit of a twist, but it's mostly just that quick forward and backward movement of the arms while we hold that plie. So you're squeezing your glutes, you're pushing those knees open as you hold that plie. Breathing throughout. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Standing up. We're going to do that again. So starting with a squat and drive, or just a normal squat. So knees wide to make space for that belly, down and drive up, down, drive up, down. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Up and down. And because everything's at your own pace, just a reminder that you can do normal squats to whatever depth you can manage at this stage. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Standing up into our single leg side lifts. So get that starting position correct. Push out of that hip, flatten those ribs, and then add that side leg lift. If it's really impossible for you to do this in standing, you can just lie on your side. So if you imagine your screen just tipping on its side, you can lie down and do side leg lifts in a lying position. Control the lower of that leg back down for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Transferring over to the other side. Lift, squeezing the hips as you lift. Try not to let that leg come forward or go back. Keep it straight out to the side. And breathe. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Down into that plie. Legs nice and wide, toes pointing out. Open the knees. Try not to lean forward. Keep upright. Hands to chest, and add that push. My abdominals are also tense here to protect my back, protect my pelvis. And you can go as fast or as slow as you need to here. Keep the shoulders relaxed. We're almost there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and standing up. Just rock those hips from side to side, adding in a little bit of a release. We're going to move down to the mat into an all fours position. So you can get down any way that you like. I always like to roll down for a bit of spinal mobility. And walking forward into an all fours position. Before we start, just rock that pelvis forward and back, adding in a few tilts just to mobilize that lower spine, and then settle into a middle neutral position. Still practicing that abdominal bracing. Hug that baby, which is probably a lot heavier now than even a week ago, closer towards you as you flatten the ribs. Holding this position, you're then going to lift one arm overhead and then squeeze it back down to the side. Forward and back. So the arm is not completely relaxed as you do this. There's tension in the arm. So almost as if you're trying to push through something overhead and then squeezing those triceps as you bring that arm back down. All the while holding that braced position in the abdominals. Forward and back, both hips facing the mat. Try not to let the torso twist too much. Any wrist issues, you can do this on fists or come down onto an elbow. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Return to center. Recenter yourself. Get that starting position. Right, and then other side. Overhead, and then squeeze back down. As the arm comes back down, you're also pulling the shoulder blades down the back. So you should feel a bit of a squeeze or a working right here. Up and down. I'm going to come onto my fist on this side because that right wrist is feeling a bit niggly today. And for those who are still going strong, you can also move this a little bit more forward. So it's a little bit more difficult to control, and you're working your core a little bit more. But only if you can keep that correct form and that belly is not coning at all. Otherwise, stick in that all fours position. 4 more. 3, tension in that arm. 2, and 1. Arms back to center. We're then going to do our favorite bird dog, an arm and a leg lift at the same time. So brace those abdominals, lift that baby, push out of those shoulders, opposite arm and leg, coming up, hold for a couple of seconds, and down. Switch to the other side. Squeeze that glute at the top. Smoothly switching from side to side, trying not to let that torso rock too much. Lower back is staying in a neutral position, not arching. Four more. 3, 2, and 1. We're then going to move just to the legs, and I'm going to come up onto my fists here, but do whatever is comfortable for you. Abdominals braced. You're lifting one leg straight out behind you, heel or foot flexed, and you're just circling that foot here. Really small circles as you squeeze that glute. Keep both hips facing the mat. Just for 10 more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down. Smoothly switch to the other side. As you lift, squeeze the glute and circle. Try not to sink into those shoulders. Keep pushing out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Push back into child's pose. Open those knees nice and wide and just stretch forwards for a bit of a release. Nice deep breaths here. And you can even rock that upper body from side to side. Okay, once more through those movements, starting with that arm movement up and down. Engage that core, push out of those shoulders, and arm comes up and down. Tension in that arm as if you're trying to cut through something. Five to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side, smooth. Switch, overhead, and then squeeze that tricep and that shoulder blade down as that arm comes to your side. Keep pushing out of the opposite shoulder. 3, 2, and 1. Arms back to center. Recenter yourself. Make sure you haven't let go of that abdominal position. And we move into bird dog, opposite arm and leg lift. Remembering to give that glute a squeeze at the top of that movement. Four more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring one leg up behind you, both hips facing the mat, and circle that leg. Trying not to let the rest of your body wobble too much. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly back down and back up with the other leg. Circle. Keep breathing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back down. Just take the hips from side to side here. Little bit of release before we move into our last exercise for today. Time goes pretty fast. You're going to lower yourself down onto your elbows. Okay, so we are here. You're pushing up and out of those shoulders. Slight tuck in the pelvis as much as your baby will allow. And as you exhale, flatten those ribs, brace the abs. You have a few options here. The first one is just a leg lift and down, other side. Focusing on keeping the belly rounded. We don't want that hill or that line of coning running down the middle of our belly. If that's nice and easy for you, you're going to lift one leg. If you can keep form, lift the other to join you into a tabletop. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and then down and down. So either single leg lifts or a 3-second tabletop hold. And we're just going to do 3 of these. working on stability of that core. Try not to let the lower back arch here. Last one. And down. Okay, push up into a seated position. Diamond legs in front of you. And just hinge forward to open up that low back for a bit. And you can rock that upper body from side to side for a little bit more of immobilization. Four, three, two, and one. Now take those legs out in front of you, cross one leg over, and keep turning your body in the same direction into our sitting twist stretch. Push the hips forward, open up that chest, push out of that bottom shoulder to feel a side stretch here. And breathe in this position. And then same thing on the other side. Leg over, body keeps going in the same direction. And open up that torso. Try not to let that knee come forward. Keep opening it out. Back to center. So just come into a cross-legged position, or if you can, one leg up with a nice straight back. You're going to lean forward until you feel a bit of a glute stretch here. 3. Come up, hold that position, clasp your hands behind you. Open up that chest and then just add a little bit of a twist here. 3, 2, 1, and switch. So cross the other leg in front, or lift that foot up, straight back, hinge forward. Sometimes if you lean away from the leg that you're stretching, you'll also feel a bit more of a glute stretch here. This time when you sit up, you're going to bring the hands forwards, rounding the spine, pushing the shoulder blades forward, and then add that twist. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back into a standing position. Roll those shoulders back and down, and just inhale and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. And there we have it, 25-minute workout for week 37 done. If you haven't joined the channel yet, I would love to have you, so hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section, and check out our 15-minute video, which will be out later this week. Bye guys, I'll see you soon again on Belly Strong.